How does moving in with your new boyfriend or girlfriend affect your alimony? Hi, I'm Alicia Kinchlow, a family law attorney with a Kinchlow Law Practice, a family law practice based out of the Philadelphia area. All right, so getting alimony is something that happens after your divorce is final. Generally, if you're getting alimony after your divorce is final, you probably receive some other type of support beforehand, maybe spousal support or APL. And I do have a video about the differences between the different types of support someone can get before a divorce is even filed, during the pendency of the divorce, and then after the divorce. Today we're talking specifically about alimony, okay? Now, when there's alimony, generally it's by one of two methods. Either the court ordered the alimony, and usually that is done through a master's hearing where a master or even a judge made a decision about how much alimony a person is supposed to get and what are some ways that that alimony will terminate. Sometimes it's based on a date, sometimes it's based on a specific action. So again, the court can order an alimony award. And then the other way that an alimony award is given is through an agreement by the parties. So usually this is called a marital settlement agreement or even a property settlement agreement. All right. So, and in that agreement, we have a contract between the two parties about what is supposed to happen. And usually this agreement discusses everything from real estate, retirement accounts. Sometimes other things can be included in there, including a custody agreement or even a child support agreement. Now, it's important to speak with an attorney licensed in your area about the facts specific to your case, because when we're talking about a contract or just really anything in general, it can be very specific. And sometimes because things aren't called what they are in agreement doesn't mean that that's not what it is. And sometimes there are terms of art that are different in lay people's terms, so that's in the general public's term, than they actually mean in a court of law, okay? So it's very important that you speak with an attorney licensed in your area about the facts specific to your case. Now, a marital settlement agreement or property settlement agreement, same thing, is really a contract between the parties. So we have to look at what the contract says. Now, the reason I make that distinction is because there are certain things that the statutes, the divorce statutes, tell you what's going to happen when there is some type of issue that arises. Those things do not necessarily apply when you have a contract between the parties. So generally when we have a contract between anyone, and that's in any type of situation, there is a meeting of the minds. That's where people are coming together. They coming to the table. They're usually coming on equal footing, or they're supposed to. And they are agreeing that this is how whatever issue they have is going to be governed. You talk about what each person is giving up. And then you talk about if there's an issue, how does that get decided? Generally, all of these things are in your property settlement agreement. And if you've had an attorney create one, they should make sure that all the relevant issues are dealt with in that property settlement agreement. Some issues that I run into is when people just download them, or maybe they download them from a different state than Pennsylvania, not understanding that there are certain things that are different from state to state, certain things that are enforceable in Pennsylvania that may not be in California, for example, and vice versa. So it's important that's why I always say it's important to speak with an attorney licensed in your area, because they can give you specific information and help you craft an agreement that gets to the heart of everything that you want it to get to. Now, in a contract, again, the terms are what governs what happens. And if a contract is silent as to certain things, then that might mean that you may have no recourse. So an important distinction here between a court-ordered alimony payment and a settlement, an agreement between the parties, is that if a person who has a court-ordered alimony award generally moves in with someone of the opposite sex or just with another partner, even if they're the same sex, it can be a reason for their alimony to terminate. And it doesn't necessarily happen automatically because, of course, the courts don't know when you move in with someone, but it can be something that can be brought up on for a petition to terminate this alimony award if you do move in and the other person is able to prove that you have moved in with a significant other. On the other side, where there's agreement, about what happens if that agreement is silent as to what can cause a alimony award to terminate, or if it specifically says something such as the date that it terminates or the action which will cause it to terminate, and it doesn't have anything about cohabitation, then you may not lose your right to alimony just because you moved in with someone else. So it's important to speak with an attorney about the facts, again, specific to your case, your property settlement agreement, even if you signed it and did it before the issue arose. Speaking to an attorney, giving them that agreement, and giving them an opportunity to review it, they can help you to learn whether or not your alimony will terminate by moving in with your significant other, or whether you can stop paying your alimony to the other spouse or your ex-spouse because they have moved in with someone. So it's important, very, very important, that you read these agreements carefully, that you understand what you're signing. Generally, I tell people that if you are reading anything, any contract, where you have to indicate that you have had the opportunity to consult with an attorney and you're waiving your right to do so, you should absolutely consult with an attorney. It's really, really hard to go back later on and say that you signed something under duress, which is another video that we've talked about, where it's really hard to prove that you didn't have the ability to consult with an attorney. And it's hard to overturn a lot of these agreements for reasons like duress or anything like that. Usually only fraud is the way that you kind of get around that. So you want to be very, very, very careful, because it's very hard to get a second bite at that apple. All right, so there's other issues that arise too that are different between a court order alimony award and an agreement. And again, what it comes down to is that an agreement is a contract, and the contract tells you what's supposed to happen and how the parties are supposed to govern themselves. And if you forget to include something in there, you may be out of luck. All right, I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you want to speak with an attorney in my office about your case, you can use the link below, kinslowlaw.com, to request a consultation. You can also give us a call. That phone number is also in the show notes. Please subscribe and leave us some comments. Tell us about any other topics you would like us to cover. These videos are here for you. They are for educational purposes only. But as a service to our community, we want to make sure that we are giving people information in a way that's easy to consume. And it gets at the heart of some of the issues that are coming up when they're navigating a custody, support, or divorce issue. All right, until next time, take care.